videos.
It had to be. So, in other words, this is for a lesson for you guys out there. Always check the Jimmy Cap, because my concept of people are no damn good applies to the condom factories, where there's probably always a idiot who like carries a pin or something and makes a condom defective, right? That's the only way it could have happened.
So the rumor is Maury Povich is coming back for a 2-year You Are Not the Father show. It's going to take 2 years to go through all 1,057 men.
Is he still alive?
I don't know.
Maury Povich?
I don't know, but do you remember that show?
You are not the father. Yeah!
Yeah, people would cheer. They would dance. Oh, man. What terrible TV there used to be, man. Between that,
still got that right.
That Springer.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time, boys and girls, for Ray's reenactment. No sound today of the news at noon.
There's a whole lot going on in this world. It's time to catch up. Here's the news at noon. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
All right, Ray Dunn. This is a challenge. Normally we have a soundbite that accompanies the item. Not today. So, Ray, you got to act the part. You got to De Niro this.
I'm going to try my best.
All right.
We'll see how this goes. So, yeah, today's news at noon would have.
Hold on. Before he does that, let me just say, I just got an email that we should have internet back within 30 minutes.
All right, well, there you go.
Do we want to wait for the news at noon? Or do we want Ray to try to reenact it? I'm okay either way, Mike.
I think we'll try to have Ray reenact it.
Okay.
Well, we hit the sounder.
Let's see what you got.
You couldn't have informed us of that email.
I just saw it. It just came
minutes
through.
ago. All right.
Go ahead, Ray.
Sorry, we're going to get to the news at noon. All right, we're going to start with actually something Bill submitted. So, Bill, you can help me with this one. I don't know if you realize you signed up for that, but now, since you sent this to me, you're tied into this one. John Stockton, who I think for my generation, I'd be willing to bet people my age better know John Stockton for being a line in Not Like Us than being a basketball player. I'd be willing to bet that.
Oh, I'm waiting for you to play the song.
Yeah, I'm not going to play the song in here.
So for those who aren't following Not Like Us, that was the halftime show at the Super Bowl. Kendrick Lamar in the diss track about Drake. He throws out,
I'm finna pass on that body. I'm John Stockton.
I'm John Stockton. Now, Ray explained to me this morning, there's a deeper reference there.
A subtle nod to the fact that if you're bringing up John Stockton and passing, you're passing on discussing Karl Malone. Karl Malone, known for something he did with an underage. That was also a subtle nod at what Drake might be doing to underage women. So that was a part of the diss.
Oh.
This clip that comes up that we were going to play, John Stockton acknowledges the fact that he is mentioned in Not Like Us.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. He's a Kendrick Lamar fan?
He was watching halftime at the Super Bowl. He said he knows the song because people have brought it up.
And because of his kids.
Okay.
So they were waiting around the TV, he said,
to see if his
are
name
they
would be
going to
brought
use
up.
that line?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
His phone started blowing just like crazy, of course, with people checking in afterwards. He does not acknowledge why he was brought up in the song. And then, Bill, give us the history lesson that John Stockton gave us.
So this was what I thought was pretty cool about this soundbite. Apparently, John Stockton's grandfather played for the Frankfurt Yellow Jackets that won a championship that eventually became the Philadelphia Eagles. If you remember, they had the blue and yellow jerseys from a few years back with McNabb and Kevin Curtis. So Stockton said, I was rooting for the Eagles. And B. West. So it was just an interesting video that him and his family are around the TV
That's
waiting
really
for that.
interesting in another number of levels. Number one, Stockton is a very staunch conservative who you wouldn't think would have his kids be into Kendrick Lamar. Two, if his grandfather was played for the Frankfurt Yellow Jackets, how did the family get to Utah or wherever he's from?
I don't
Washington,
know. I don't know, because it was 1926 that the grandfather played for the Yellow Jackets. But Henny also says, do you know how much the Eagles bought the Yellow Jackets for? He says $2,500.
Wow.
Could you imagine? In 1926, I would love to have told my family that came over on the boat.
3 years
Put some
later,
money together.
The Great Depression would hit. All right, so there you go. That's a pretty good job there, Ray, because you explained it beautifully.
Thank
with
you.
Kendrick Lamar and that the subtle shot with Karl Malone in there, subtle shot at Drake. It's beautiful.
Yes.
All right, number 2.
All right. Second thing, I'm taking issue with one Adam Schefter. Adam Schefter, who was on this morning with Kincade and Salciunas, and I checked in. There was no mention of this today, so we need to ask him about this next week.
I was just told we are 100% back online.
All righty.
That's great.
I don't know if you got the sounds.
No, we do not.
Oh, okay. But we are back
Everything
on
went
YouTube,
under.
everybody. We are live on YouTube.
Everything went under
All right,
before I pulled any audio.
All right, go ahead.
So, no audio. Adam Schefter on his podcast that came out today, the little clip they do to promote it, his big takeaway from the parade was Howie Roseman being hit with the beer can. Well, fine, if you want to talk about it. However, you would have heard him draw a parallel to snowballs at Santa
No.
while talking about the beer can hitting Howie Roseman.
He didn't.
He did.
Oh, no.
Such a lazy
He
take.
did?
He did.
Come on. I got a problem with him. And no, all due respect to Kincade Salciunas.
He dropped a nugget on the morning show this morning, too, that's circulating Twitter now. Because
Really?
he said that he expects Mekhi Becton to be back next year with the Eagles.
Oh, there you go.
But, man, he really made the comparison of the beer can to the snowball.
He said, I can't tell intent. Who in their right mind is throwing a beer can at Howie Roseman?
I told you who.
So lazy.
Joe
listen-
Shane.
So
Yeah,
Joe
yeah,
Shane needed a full investigation.
Now, hold
shot.
on a second. So after we finished, Ray reenacts the third one. Since we're back online, can we play the sound bites?
Yes, we'll go
Oh,
find
awesome.
it. We'll pull it.
Yeah.
All right, so that's what we're going to do. All right, go ahead, Ray. Number 3.
All right, number 3, Court of Gold came out on Netflix. I haven't watched it. Have either of you watched it yet?
No, I have not.
I'm looking forward to it, though, because it sounds awesome. 6 episodes diving into the 2024 Men's Basketball Olympics, behind the scenes, wonderful snippets that have been made their way to Twitter. The one that I thought was hilarious was Evan Fournier goes on like a 30-second monologue about chemistry, how France has it, how they work out in the summer all together over the last 5 years. It's going to help them. And then it cuts to Kevin Durant like, yeah, your chemistry is not going to help you when you have to guard Steph Curry. Basically laughing in their faces at the idea their chemistry is going to work, and basically tells whoever on France is saying that should probably shut up, which ended up being true.
I actually like that response from Kevin Durant.
I love it.
He's very outspoken. He's not afraid to say anything. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We got a break. On the other side, we're going to actually open up these sound bites so we can actually hear the sound that accompanies these items. And I'm going to make an executive decision here. For the rest of the show, we will do general knowledge. However, we will carry it over to tomorrow. So whoever is the correct answers today will carry over and be part of the names in the hat for tomorrow when we do it.
All right, so we got a 2-day general knowledge
It's like a day and a half.
trying to beat
We
Ray Dunn.
people didn't get the full gist of general knowledge today because of our internet problems. We weren't on YouTube, so people didn't think we were on the air and the whole bit. So we'll continue that. So on the other side, the sound bites that accompany news at noon, and we'll continue with general knowledge. So here's how you get in. 610-632-0975. If you finally have caught us on YouTube, we are back up. The Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Nussmeier to New Orleans. I'm Ray Dunn. This update is brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app today. Kellen Moore has officially brought his buddy on board in New Orleans. Eagles quarterbacks coach Doug Nussmeier is going to be Moore's offensive coordinator for the Saints, becoming the second Eagles staffer to join Moore in New Orleans after TJ Pagnetti reportedly agreed to join the Saints staff. This puts the Eagles in the market for a new offensive coordinator and quarterback coach this offseason. Still no word on the defensive coordinator down there in New Orleans, which Eagles defensive backs coach Christian Parker has interviewed for. Down in Clearwater, the Phillies' full team workouts continue as they prepare for their first spring training game on Saturday afternoon. 76ers return from the All-Star break tomorrow to host the Boston Celtics at the Wells Fargo Center. You'll be able to listen to that game right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Tomorrow also is the championship of the NHL's Four Nations face-off with Team USA and Team Canada at 8 o'clock on ESPN. This update's also brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. At Mercedes-Benz, there's a reason they go the extra mile, from testing their vehicles to creating AI that can anticipate your needs on the road. They demand that every car is worthy of their star because it's Mercedes-Benz. I'm Ray Dunn in the home, the 76ers and the Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Mike Missanelli Show. We're back to General Knowledge Wednesday, which is like abbreviated today, and we'll carry it over to tomorrow. But the general knowledge categories are general knowledge, Jim Carrey movies, and history. What came first? We only gotten one so far. In any event,
I am leading 1-0.
You are leading 1-0. Right? Is leading 1-0. So the audience has to capture. To carry over to tomorrow, the audience has to outpoint them.
And the audience missed a layup. Not knowing Tiny Dancer?
Yeah. Hold Me Closer, Tony Danza was the hint.
Yeah.
But we just had news at noon. So let's start with the one, Bill Colarulo's submission. John Stockton, who is famously known.
We don't have this one yet,
we don't
right?
have that one?
No, right now we got Schefty.
Okay. All right, let's start with number 2 then. That's Schefter on this morning with Kincade and Salciunas. Going over the Eagles parade takeaways, and oh no.
To be clear, this was on his podcast, not with Kincade and Salciunas.
Okay.
I don't want them to catch heat for not going back at him.
Yeah, he was on with those guys today, but this is on his podcast, and you're protected when you do a podcast and you think you're being clever, but you just come out sounding stupid. So here it is.
There were so many great warm moments, but I'm going to tell you, you're always going to remember the city of Philadelphia pelting Howie Roseman with a beer can. Just the way they pelted Santa Claus with a snowball. I don't know it was intentional, but that thing looked like it left a nasty welt and scar on the top of his forehead. So here's this guy who does as good a job as any GM in all of football in building another world champion for the Eagles, and then gets hit with a beer can in the head. Now, I don't think somebody was throwing at him intentionally. I don't think that. But there's still projectiles here at a parade where there are people, and it's dangerous. So the GM takes the beer can in the forehead, and he gets up there without missing a beat and says, I bleed for this city. And I just think that now is something that he will always be remembered for.
Such a lazy take. Right there.
It is so, it's such a, I'm going to be cool if I say this, that Howie Roseman got hit with a beer can, right? And he tried to double back on it, but he first said, "Well, I don't know. It was intentional. Of course, it wasn't intentional. All you got to do is make a phone call, for crying out loud. Make a phone call. They were just throwing beers to the people that were on the trucks. Make a phone call, so you don't rely on the stupid hot take that everybody's going to suck up. Oh, Philadelphia's bad, and a guy like Schefter should be above that, and he's not."
Yeah, look, it's dumb to throw the beer cans. I get it, but it happens at every parade in every city. But to bring it back to the Santa Claus thing,
it's not that dumb to throw a beer can. You throw a beer can so somebody can drink a beer.
No,
it's not that dumb.
It's dumb when people aren't looking.
Well, you're expected to look. It's like, hey, here's a beer. But it's totally innocent.
If you're watching the video, no one's looking. I mean, look, I'm saying I would not recommend throwing a full beer can towards a bus, but it wasn't done in a malicious way.
Exactly.
You're right. It was done in a celebratory way.
And you bring the snowball thing up.
The snowball thing.
You see, I guess those guys didn't know he said that this morning.
No, for sure.
I ought to call them on that.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to number 3. The Netflix, Kevin Durant talking about Evan Fournier, who can't play dead anymore. But anyway, go ahead.
We definitely have an advantage. We know each other. We've played together for 10 plus years. We have training camps every summer. These guys don't. These guys just show up for 3 weeks and just go play, right? It's extremely hard to create a team and create chemistry like that. And I think that's their biggest disadvantage. And that's always a challenge for them.
I could play together every day for the last 5 years. That ain't gonna help you. That chemistry gonna help you when you got guard stuff. So whoever talking, man, especially French, man,
French.
Just play the games, man. We ain't talking about y'all. We respecting what y'all doing over there, bro. We play the games, bro.
Yeah, see, Fournier's not wrong, as Bill would say. But did they win? I don't know. Did they win the gold?
No.
They didn't. Okay, all right. Yeah. I'm just checking. Maybe I saw the wrong Olympics.
I have to watch this, but if he said this prior to the Olympics about them talking on the other side, like it sounds like this was said in the progress of the Olympics.
Yeah.
It literally turns out to that. Because you could see France, the way they play together, they were getting together in the fourth quarter, and it didn't matter because Steph Curry's Steph Curry.
Yeah, it's exactly what happened.
Like KD called the entire end of the Olympics.
Most of the time, talent's going to beat chemistry. Anyway. Let's go to the text board. We got plenty of Phillies text. I hope people remember what we're talking about because it was pretty heated.
Well, people are weighing in on the YouTube chat, so they must have heard us earlier.
Yeah, so the concept of what we're talking about is that Bill looks at Rob Thompson and he should be on the griddle. And in fact, he criticized them last year for not adjusting, blah blah blah. But he, in my opinion, does not show the same scrutiny for his buddy Nick Sirianni, because baseball managers do less than football coaches, in my opinion, and I think in the opinion of many people who look at baseball and say, well, baseball is kind of an automatic pilot type of sport, and what you can do as a manager best is you just make people feel comfortable. They can play to the best of their ability.
But I was supporting Nick Sirianni and coming back, but I agreed that he would be on the hot seat if they didn't have success this season. So I don't see how you could say Sirianni was on the hot seat coming into this season, but Rob Thompson wouldn't be, especially when I think you could make the argument that Sirianni had a lot less to work with last year when you looked at how bad the defensive personnel was, which Howie Roseman agreed because they brought in 7 new damn starters on defense. Rob Thompson, he's being told by Dombrowski, though, Mike, this roster's good enough. We're not going to make a lot of changes.
Let's talk about your hot seat now. Where does it go? Because I can tell you right now,
I think NLCS.
That they shouldn't beat the Dodgers.
I think they have to get to the NLCS.
They have to get against the Dodgers.
Yeah, if they lose to the Dodgers, I don't think he gets fired.
Okay, are they as good as the Braves?
It'll be interesting because the Braves are healthy this year.
The team that Dombrowski assembled as good as the Braves.
I think that they got a higher payroll.
I see. Again, he doesn't answer. He never answers the question, right? It's like pulling an answer out of him is like trying to get something out of a sewer drain.
I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes that they should beat the Braves.
Okay.
Because if you got the 3rd highest payroll in baseball,
and I'll tell you why you said that, because it supports your argument. Because you said no, then how could he be on the hot seat? You see?
I know, because then you got the Mets.
I put a bear trap on you.
You got the Mets, too.
You got the Mets. Are they as good as the Mets?
But here's why, all right? It's not only about comparing them to the Mets and the Braves. It's about, and you don't like me using the word regress, but I think that they have regressed every single season because I base it on playoff success, not just on the fact that they had 95 wins last year. I get it. They went 87, then 90, then 95.
If you were good enough to win 95 games and you go into the playoffs with a team that you think is good enough because they had the 2nd best win total in the league and they didn't win, then where's the regression? They just lost the series. That's all they did. It wasn't a regression because going into this, you go, wow, the Phillies should win this series. So where's the regression? They won 95 games.
But they won 95 games because of the tremendous start they had to the season. They were not a 95-win team.
Doesn't matter whether they had
after
a hot
the All-Star
start
break.
Before the season or after the All-Star break. No, it doesn't matter.
Then how come it mattered that the Eagles were 10-1 and then lost 6-7?
Because
why did that matter?
6-7 is a total meltdown. That what the Phillies did after the hot start was still win 95 games.
They coasted after the break.
Park. Rome, you're on 97.5, the Fanatic. Rome.
Hey, afternoon, gentlemen.
What's
How
up, Rome? How you doing?
All right. Not bad. Pretty good. Bill, Mike is a baseball traditionalist because we had a discussion before these changes that they made whether or not there was changes needed to be made to baseball.
Yeah, and I agree with every change.
Right.
So how am I a traditionalist?
You didn't think it was any change was needed.
No, that's not correct at all.
No,
in fact, I endorsed the changes because I needed to speed up the game.
What you said to most people were, well, what I think it was even me. You were like, well, what do you want to do? You want to take and use metal bats now or something?
No, because but the changes that they made, I was in total agreement with. I love the Ghost Runner. I love the fact that there's a pitch clock. What did I not agree with?
You didn't like the idea of making changes from the start. After they made the changes,
not radical changes. You were talking about radical changes.
Well, what do you call radical?
Well, I don't know what we were discussing at the time, but when they came up with these changes, I said I'm on board.
Well, I'll clarify because I'm not going to fabricate something, Mike, and it's not an attack on you. I enjoy talking with you because you bring up great topics and the fact that, you make people think. So that's why. But it's the sports that I enjoy.
Okay, so
Really?
so what's your argument here that I'm a traditionalist that I'm against?
Well, you didn't want to have, you didn't see any need to make any kind of changes. It was just
Okay,
the way it
we're
was set.
beyond that now. What's your point now in your
Well,
call?
I'm just saying is that you can take and see the other side once it's viable. You know, it's like when I last called
Rome,
about MB.
hold it. I don't know what your argument is here. What
I'm not
am
trying to
I
make an
not
argument.
seeing here? I just proposed changing the Phillies lineup.
Well, yeah. Now, whether or not Schwarber is going to be able to hit a guy, that what makes it funny for me is the fact that, with that much power, it seems as though he just feels more comfortable leading off where in most cases there's no man on base to have to drive in. If he's moved down in the lineup.
What the hell are you
do
talking
think,
about? The guy's had 100 RBIs every year.
Well, look, it's one thing. He might have 100 hit leading off. Will he have that if he's pushed down into the lineup?
Why wouldn't he?
Well, it's like anything else, like you said before. People have been veterans, and they have a veteran squad. They're used to doing things a certain way and being comfortable with it.
What is your argument?
I'm not making an argument. We're having a discussion, Mike.
Well, what's your discussion? I don't see what's valid about your discussion. What do you want here?
I feel as though the Phillies may not be able to take and finish and be strong and remove that regression that they've had. I know you hate that word, because of the fact that they're stuck in certain ways.
Okay, but that's what they are. So I don't know what you want to do about it. Like there had to be a point to what his argument was going to be today, and I couldn't feel the point. I'm sorry. Maybe it was me. 610-632-0975. We're back after this.
Tyrone Johnson, Ricky Patel.
Oh, I think so.
We had to fill out this questionnaire. Payola, it's called. But I got an email from the company that said I had to do the quiz. The 26-question quiz. I went through it 3 times because they won't pass you unless you get 90% right of the 26 questions on Payola. Now, Payola is basically for the music stations, the jocks of the music stations, as far as playing records that maybe somebody slides them under the table money. You can't do that. It's called Payola.
Yeah.
So we had to take this.
Did you tell them
At least
that?
I did. I took a 26-question quiz.
Did you tell them that Rob Thompson's paying you off to give him a free pass every damn day?
All right, enough of you. Well, anyway, I was about to bring up the fact that I did the 26. I flunked the first 2. So from flunking it, I got the right answers. And I was able to get 100% the third time I took it.
Yeah,
and I wrote down the answers. And I was going to give them to you.
All right, now I didn't know what the hell you were talking about this morning.
Now, would that have been a violation?
No, because we got each other's back.
No,
That's a violation.
Would it be a violation for you to take the cheat on the test? Is my question.
Well, I didn't know what you were talking about this morning. You're like, yo, I got the answers to that. I'm like thinking to myself, yeah, you just answered no to everything. I didn't know what he was talking about.
No, you answer honestly to
How
those
did I
questions.
get this on my email that it was mandatory that I had to fill out this Payola quiz thing?
I didn't know what you
You
were
know
talking
how long
about.
it took me to do 26 questions? Because they're like long questions. They give you if A does this and B does this, is this Payola considered Payola? Is this proper? And I'm going through the whole thing 3 times.
Right. Did you see how happy Mike was this morning? We came into. He goes, "Yo, Bill, I got the answers to that quiz." Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, how did
You
you
said
not
the same
get the
thing to me.
quiz? I got the quiz.
Oh man. You're just wrong on everything today. Your Rob Thompson takes, what was required of the company.
We got any texts that support me?
I was supporting you.
Yeah,
support
me.
me.
Very few and far between.
Specifically.
All right, here we go. We got a texter from New Jersey. You can't just force players to change their approach that could actually make them worse or get in their own head. Yelling at baseball players doesn't work. Bill expects Dan Campbell to coach the Phillies. You can't bring football intensity into baseball. Different game.
Listen, let me clarify here because you keep calling me this meathead and I want them to be treated like a football team. What I am saying is Rob Thompson is a lifelong baseball man. He has arguably one of the best rosters in all of baseball. We saw them go to the World Series. They fell short. I get it. The Astros were a better team. Then we saw them lose with 2 home games against an inferior opponent in the NLCS against the Diamondbacks. Then you saw them last year losing the divisional round to the Mets. They are going backwards. It is up to the manager to figure out a way to connect with his players to get the most out of them, and I don't think that he is. And to give them a free pass year after year after year because it's just baseball makes me lose my mind. Because the Philadelphia Eagles won 10 straight games after the bye, and every damn week we were criticizing something. But when it comes to the Phillies, we give them a free pass every damn year because why? We like the guy? I like Rob Thompson too. He's a nice guy. But he's got to do something, Mike, and you keep coming at me. Well, what should he do? There's a lot of things he could do, but guess what? I'm not a lifelong baseball guy like he is, and if he's not going to get the best out of his roster, then unfortunately, he's going to have to be held accountable at the end of the season.
I go, okay, what's the problem with the Phillies? Well, there's too many hitters. There's too many of the same hitters. There's just too many of the same hitters. So who's responsible for changing that? Is that the manager or is that the guy who builds the team?
I would say the guy that builds the team. But when the guy that builds the team makes the decision this offseason that we're basically running it back, then that's signaling to me we have a good enough roster, Rob. We have a good enough lineup. We have good enough pitching. So now if they don't get the job done, agree with it or not, the manager has to be held accountable.
Maybe the general manager's misguided. Possible the general manager's misguided. He has a good enough team. Now, he tried to do some things. He came up with the Ziggy. The best he could do was Kepler in left field. I mean, okay, you're going to change the lineup. It's going to play right in your hand. I'll change the lineup. And I agree with the lineup changes. I told you what I would do. If I was the general manager, I would take a chance on the young kid. I would freshen up my lineup by putting that kid who could be absorbed by everybody else. Wasn't that the same adage that they had for Rojas? Oh, Rojas, he's a young kid. We can bring him up from Double-A because he's surrounded by these veteran players. Why doesn't the same apply for a better player like Justin Crawford?
Dude, I agree with you that I think Dombrowski needs to do a better job. I said that last year. I got killed.
Rationale. They brought Rojas, who can't hit Little League pitching, and said, well, he's surrounded by all these veteran players. Justin Crawford is 10 times the player Rojas is. The same rationale doesn't apply?
You're right. Maybe bringing up Crawford. But
you see, I could manage and I could be in the front office for this team.
But I have been critical of Dombrowski. I got killed for it last year. I got called the clown for being critical of Dombrowski. But now I also think...
funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown? I amuse you?
I just watched My Cousin Vinny, by the way. Another great role for Joe Pesci. But they have to...
It has zero to do with the clip he just played.
It was Joe Pesci.
Yeah, but it's not My Cousin Vinny.
I said I just watched My Cousin Vinny. Another great role by Joe Pesci, I said.
How did your mind go to Cousin Vinny?
Because it's Joe Pesci on the clip. And I just watched it yesterday.
All right, go.
Anyway, trying to get in my way here. I think Dombrowski has to be held accountable, but I also think the manager... Look, you go back to, and I saw someone in the YouTube chat say it, they didn't make any changes in the series against Arizona. When things were slipping away, no changes were made. But then, this past season, Bryson Stott has the game of his life, hits the 2-run triple, is feeling great, and you sit him the next day. Like, there were so many weird decisions.
He made a lot of mistakes in the postseason. I'll agree with you. So there you go.
Look at us in agreement.
I'm agreeing with you. Nick in Ewing Township joins us, but you'll join us after our next commercial because we get plenty of Phillies texts. We'll get Nick. We'll get Ryan on. They're going to play general knowledge. They can carry over to tomorrow with the big prize being Sixers tickets, which sorry to say, I buried him a little earlier. I'm not burying him anymore because this is a very palatable gift. The Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Nussmeier to New Orleans. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. Kellen Moore has officially brought his buddy on board in New Orleans. Eagles quarterbacks coach Doug Nussmeier is going to be Moore's offensive coordinator for the Saints, becoming the second Eagles staffer to join Moore in New Orleans after TJ Pagnetti reportedly agreed to join Moore yesterday down there on the Saints staff. This puts the Eagles in the market for a new offensive coordinator and quarterback coach this offseason. Still no word on the defensive coordinator down there, which Eagles defensive backs coach Christian Parker has interviewed for. Down in Clearwater, the Phillies' full team workouts continue as they prepare for the first spring training game on Saturday afternoon. 76ers return from the All-Star break tomorrow to host the Boston Celtics at the Wells Fargo Center. You can hear that game right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Tomorrow is also the championship of the NHL's Four Nations face-off with Team USA and Team Canada, 8 o'clock on ESPN. This update is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. At Mercedes-Benz, there's a reason they go the extra mile from testing their vehicles to creating AI that can anticipate your needs on the road. They demand that every car is worthy of their star because it's Mercedes-Benz. I'm Ray Dunn, the home of the 76ers and the Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
is a man. Mike Missanelli, show 97.5 The Fan. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you a little tip-off, people. We may have another version of Sirianni Love in the 1 o'clock hour.
This one's all Ray.
Hold on to that one. Hold on to that thought.
But this is a Ray Dunn Sirianni Love,
Nope,
not from me.
Not putting that one on me.
I didn't find this. Ray found it.
Ray found
Yes, I
something
read
that we
the Inquirer.
may have to play Sirianni Love with Bill singing again. Sirianni Love. People love it. We got another reason to play it. I believe that's coming up in the 1 o'clock hour. You don't want to miss it. Let's go back to our text board. Plenty of Phillies texts today, Ray. What do we have?
Matt from Maple Shade. The Phillies barely played 500 in baseball after the All-Star break last year. Pretty similar to the Eagles' collapse, considering they had one of the hottest starts in MLB history.
This is why it's stupid to say that. Because everybody goes through slumps and rallies. You win 8 games in a row. Sometimes you lose 7. So the Phillies got off to a hot start. What matters is the total at the end. Who cares the way it happened? They had the second most wins in baseball. Who cares that they played 500 over the second half? It all evens out to the point where you get the final total of 95.
You get a trophy for that?
You get a trophy for winning in the end. They didn't win in the end. They lost to the Mets. It was heinous. I agree. But don't give me that they were terrible getting that team. They still wound up. You take the median. The median was 95 wins. It doesn't matter how they did it.
I disagree.
What did you want them to have? 110? What teams win 110 games?
Then once again, going back to the Eagles from 2 years ago, if it's only the median, they finished 10.
They won.
They finished 11 and 6.
11 games is not 95.
11 and 6 is a pretty damn good record.
The equivalent of 95. That was the second most in baseball. What was 11 wins in the NFL?
All right, let's go looking.
Go ahead. Go look at it.
I believe they were well, they didn't win the NLE. They didn't win the NFC East, so they were.
They didn't win their division. That's right.
Hold on. I'm going to look. So in 2023, when the Eagles finished 11 and 6, since we're only looking at the median, that would have been.
You look at the median in baseball because it's 162 games. It's not 17 games. It's 162.
So the best record in the NFC that year was 12 wins. So they were 1 game behind, 1 win behind the best record in the NFC. It didn't matter, Mike, because of the way the season ended. It shouldn't matter that the Phillies had 95 wins with the way the season ended.
How many teams in the NFL won more than 11 games?
That year or this year?
That year.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So they were the 5th best total. The Phillies, over 162 games, had the second best total for 162 games. Let's go to Nick in Ewing Township. Nick, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Nick.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, Nick?
Appreciate taking my call. So, I have a question. So, as far as offensive coordinator, I know the Eagles are looking for a new one. How would you like Ken Dorsey from the Cleveland Browns? Because I've heard, he's available to be hired for head offensive coordinator position. How would you like taking a look at him?
Why would you look at what has he accomplished?
I mean, I know he hasn't accomplished anything, but as far as bringing in a new system, I think he can really.
Let's go back. Let's go back to your statement. I know he hasn't accomplished anything. Why would you want a guy like that?
Well,
he was so bad he got fired in mid-season this year, didn't he?
Well, yeah, he did. But coming into a team like the Eagles.
But what does his resume say that he's qualified for this job?
It's probably a moot point anyway, though, man, because the Cowboys hired him to be their offensive passing game specialist this year. So he just got hired a few days ago by the Cowboys.
He's off the market.
So he's probably off the market. Now, the offensive coordinator would be an upgrade to that, but I don't think they would do it.
I don't think that at this point he's a offensive coordinator, supreme offensive coordinator candidate.
And he got fired in Buffalo, too.
Yeah, there's nothing that special about him.
Okay. Okay, so I just wanted to point that out. But as far as the Sixers, so if Nick Nurse can't get his team, out of the first or second round, would you put him on the hot seat? Especially like if he comes back next year, would you put him on the hot seat, or should we give him more time?
Because of all the injuries, he'll get a pass by the management. Me, I might want to change up the whole thing.
Okay, yeah, because I would too, because it's similar to me, because I'm a Charger fan, and I know how it is to, have a new coach and bring in new change. So that's why I was asking that.
Yeah, I don't really think he's done that special of a job, even though they've had a depleted roster. There are a lot of teams that are depleted that don't have players, and they're ahead of him in the standings. All right, let's play. You want to play general knowledge, Nick?
Yeah.
All right, Nick. Jim Carrey movies.
Okay.
All right, Jim Carrey movies, whether he was in this or not. Okay, was Jim Carrey in the movie Anchorman: The Legend of Ron Burgundy?
Yes.
That would be incorrect.
Ooh.
Sorry, brother.
He overthought it.
That's a definite.
I think he thought it was a trick question.
Yeah. Okay. Was Ray?
Okay.
Was Jim Carrey in the movie Liar Liar?
Yes.
It's one of my favorites.
That is correct, Ray. Ray Tyson. Now, did you know that, or was it a guess?
I knew that one.
You did know that one.
Yeah.
All righty then.
Ray didn't tie.
See what I did there?
Ray didn't tie it. He took a commanding 2-0 lead.
That's right.
Oh, that's right. It's 2-0 now for Ray.
Good luck, audience.
All right. By the way, you're listening to WPEN and WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities. A little later this hour, Sirianni Love
from Ray Dunn
is coming your
Not
way.
I got to ask you a question now.
Me?
Yeah.
All right. What?
So the caller just brings up Nick Nurse, and you're critical of Nick Nurse. And I don't think you shouldn't be. I'm on board with you being critical of him, but Nick Nurse has dealt with injuries to Embiid and Paul George and Maxey, and now McCain's out, and all. And you're critical of him.
Yeah.
But yet Rob Thompson, it's like, what do you want him to do? It's baseball. If I have to hear it's baseball, if this team struggles this year, I'm going to lose my mind, Mike. Because I still am asking you, what is the role of the manager then? Well, if it's just baseball.
I'm telling you that there's the lesser of a role of the manager than there would be for Nick Nurse, who has to design plays and offenses and defenses. It's just completely different.
I get it. I get that the basketball coach does more, football coach does more.
If they don't get to the NLCS, I agree with you. He's on the hot seat. You put him on the hot seat last year, and I go, okay, what could he have done? Now, he did make mistakes in the postseason. I get it. But you put this blanket thing that a manager is capable of changing the mindset of a baseball player because it's such an individual sport that it doesn't compute. It just doesn't. I'm sorry.
But, so, you weren't frustrated last year? Or the year before, watching some of the decisions that were made?
What decisions during the regular season did you have a problem with? He made some mistakes under the brightest lights possible in the postseason. But what was magnified during the regular season that made them lose so many games? Because they won 95. So what exactly was he doing wrong? They won 95 games. Tell me what they were doing wrong. Where all these mistakes happened from Rob Thompson.
You keep harping on the 95.
I'm asking you a simple question.
And I'm going to answer it. But you keep harping on the 95. This was not a 95-win pace team the second half of the season. Like, all of that was because of the tremendous start. And I get it all counts.
Well, what do you mean pace? Whether it was it was front loaded or back loaded, what's the difference? Whether the pace, it's 162 games, and they wound up with 95.
What was the Phillies' record after the All-Star break last year?
33-33.
33-33.
Okay, but it evened out because they were so good in the start of the season.
It doesn't even out.
It does.
Listen, a 33-33 baseball team, and I keep going back to this, and you get mad at me, but the manager allowed that type of mentality, a 500 baseball team, to just go 66 games.
Not the mentality.
Complacency.
It's not mentality. It's
zero
baseball.
accountability.
You're gonna play better at certain parts of the season than others.
Mike,
how many? Very few teams win 95 or more games in Major League Baseball. Why? Because it's a long season.
33-33 is not a great team. almost half the season they played 500
when
ball.
you blend it with the other part of it, it is a great team because not many teams win 95. My God, I'm going to bang my head against the center
once
block
again,
wall today.
let's go back to the football argument then, because I keep going back to it. Not many teams win 11 games, Mike. Not many teams win 11 games, but yet we should have been critical of the Eagles and Nick Sirianni when they started 10-1 and went 11-6.
You are so hell-bent to protect Sirianni that you've lost
it's not
your
protecting
concept
him.
of the baseball
It's
argument.
not protecting him. Nick Sirianni deserved all the criticism he got. My point was he deserved to come back this year. He should have been on the hot seat. I had him on the hot seat. He just deserved another chance. Just like Rob Thompson deserved to come back. I don't think Thompson should have been fired this offseason. He deserved to come back, but now he has to be on the hot seat.
I am not disagreeing with you. Our disagreement is you saying that he should have done something last year. And I'm saying they won 95 games, for crying out loud. 610-632-0975.
I don't care about regular season.
Let's go.
I want playoff success.
You want to get into the playoffs, you got to win 95 games and get a seed. Anyway, Ray, let's go back to the text board.
I just am reading this here head explode. G-Man, check it in. I'm 100% with Bill. It's up to the manager 100 to make changes.
G-Man, you're an idiot. All right? So let's move on to the next text. What do you got? Sorry, G-Man.
Yeah, G-Man, I appreciate the support.
You should be D-Man, dope man. Go ahead. What's next?
Brian B., I don't blame the manager at all. Tell the players to stop disappearing in the biggest moments. Bats going cold aren't the manager's fault. The biggest difference in the Eagles and the Phillies is that the Eagles showed up and handled business in the big games, and the Phillies did not.
But see, here's what I keep asking. I'm going to ask our lifelong baseball guy sitting next to me, Mike Missanelli. Does the manager play a part in getting the most out of his players?
Yes, he does.
Okay, so when we say the bats go cold in the biggest moments, yeah, the players have to be blamed, no doubt. Dombrowski has to be blamed, no doubt. But doesn't the manager also have to share in that responsibility?
Tell you what goes through a manager's head, okay? Because you want changes, you want the batting order to change, you want this guy to hit this guy, you want this guy to play for this guy. Baseball players are creatures of habit. When they are struggling, they don't want to be reminded that they're struggling. This is what Rob Thompson knows, having been a failed baseball player. He was a great college player who didn't make it in big league baseball. So the mentality of him is that baseball is so mental. I can't disturb guys who are already down on themselves by pushing them further down on themselves. That's a strategy that he has decided to use that he thinks helps baseball players. And I agree with that. Having gone through slumps where I go, I can't possibly hit, and I come in and a guy's got me hit ninth, I go, I must stink. He knows that. So instead of changing the lineup, he says, if I stick to it, I'm going to do more for that guy's confidence than not. Now, you may disagree with it, but you don't have the instincts that Rob Thompson has as a baseball man, lifetime baseball man.
It didn't work. And all I just heard from you was your new theme song. Hold me closer, Robbie Thompson. Let's hit the break.
632-0975. On the other side, we're going to get Bill's little winky to rise up a little.
Please hit the break. Please hit the break.
Because we got more Sirianni worship coming your way after this.
The Philadelphia 76ers.
Sixers win.
It's 1:12. Mike Missanelli. I think I'm going out to dinner tonight. I've never been. I'm going to across the bridge.
Oh, Jersey?
Yep.
Where are you coming?
Going to Collingswood.
Oh, where at?
I'm going to go to Zeppeli.
Oh, Zeppeli's a good spot.
Have you been there?
Yeah.
You have?
I think the chefs, like Joey Baldino.
Joey Baldino.
Yeah. My wife and I went there a couple months ago.
Yeah?
It's good. It's always like a small menu.
It's a
small little spot.
It's a price fix.
Yeah. Always is. Who you going with, the GF?
Yeah.
You'll like it. You'll like it. It's good. Very
I'm
good.
crossing the bridge.
You're going to be right near me.
I never crossed the bridge.
If I didn't have the kids, I would have third wheeled it with you. I'm sure she would have liked
You're
that.
not invited.
She would have liked
Especially
that.
after today. You got no chance. All right, ladies and
I'm
gentlemen.
surprised you're not going with Rob Thompson.
Boys and girls.
Just the two of you. Nice romantic Italian dinner.
Oh, you got ammo. He's finally got ammo. but we're taking the ammo away from him. Because, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if Nick Sirianni has not had enough acclaim over the past couple of weeks, there's more to that.
So much good.
So much good is right. Nick Sirianni was just put into his high school Hall of Fame. Right? What is that, high school?
I don't know how to pronounce it either.
Neither do I. I think it's Chautauqua.
Chautauqua High School. And where is that, in Ohio?
No, he's a New York guy.
Not New York.
Oh, it's New York? Upstate New York?
Yeah, Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame.
It's the county. So not his high school, actually. It's the Chautauqua County in New York Hall of Fame. And he joins his father, Fran, his brother, Mike, and his brother, Jay.
Wait a minute, hold on a second.
All are in the Chautauqua
You
Hall of
tell me
Fame.
it took this long to put him in his county Hall of Fame? The guy was an NFL coach. That wouldn't get him in immediately. He had to win a Super Bowl to get into his damn county Hall of Fame.
Here's what's crazier. So Fran was inducted, the dad, in 2018. The brothers, Mike in 2022, Jay in 2023. So they got in while Sirianni just went to the Super Bowl.
It's a three-peat, baby. It finally happened, a three-peat.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bray, you got to hit it.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are. Yes, hit it. Let's play the song. Here we go. Yes.
For Chautauqua.
Chautauqua High Hall of Fame, baby. Go ahead, Nick.
Chautauqua Hall of Fame. It's Chautauqua.
It's Chautauqua
Hall of Fame. The Siriannis, dad and three sons. Yeah. I got nothing else.
Right.
I got nothing
An
else.
abbreviated version, ladies and gentlemen. The Chautauqua Hall of Fame. They're sitting around. This guy's sitting around.
I wonder if we were pronouncing it right.
You think we should put him in the Hall of Fame? It wasn't enough.
Well,
he became a head football coach. It wasn't enough.
Imagine an alternate timeline. It worked out
He must
great.
have been a pain in the ass. You know, for them not to put him in until now, he must have been a pain in the ass.
But look at the way they lined it up. They were going, I think, oldest to youngest this one because he's younger than the two others. I think it's his older brothers.
Yes.
Imagine the world in which the Eagles actually stumbled, where they have a tough season. He gets fired. And like 3 weeks after he gets fired, he's invited up there to go in the Hall of Fame. How horrible that would have been. Because it seems like he would have been in regardless.
I can't get over how much, there's a picture of the whole family. I can't get over how much Jay looks like Nick Sirianni. Seriously, they're like spot on.
I'm just looking at the conversation to put him in the Hall of Fame. Well, yeah, we got to nominate somebody this year. Well, how about Nick Sirianni? You got to put him in there and all his BS, his arrogant, trash-talking self. That bastard, we got to put him in. Yeah, I guess we got to put him in. He won the Super Bowl.
So our friend Mike Gill just checked in.
Yeah.
He says it's in Jamestown, New York,
There you go.
and that the Sirianni family is legendary.
Yeah, I know they're legendary.
Yeah.
But why did it take him so long to put this guy in the County Hall of Fame? That's my question.
Also,
If it was so legendary, he would have gone in as soon as he was named the head coach of the Eagles.
It's not a three-peat because it's 2025 now. There was a gap year
there
between
was a gap.
Sirianni inductions. The man's a sitting NFL coach. There was a gap year between inductions.
What, can they do better than that in that county?
Whoa.
The guy became an NFL head coach. They don't put him in the Hall of Fame. What's the requirements to get in the Hall of Fame?
Now,
Yeah, there's two other Eagles in that Hall of Fame in Chautauqua, New York.
Really?
Bill Berge is in that Hall of Fame, and the late tackle Jim McCusker, who played for the 1960 championship. So now Sirianni is the third Eagle in the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame.
Hey, Nick, congratulations. I'm sorry it took so long.
if they're inducting the family, Bill, when is your turn to go into that Hall of Fame?
It's interesting because they did ask me to sing at the ceremony, but I have a scheduling conflict. I was going to do the introductory speech for him and then the song, but
Well, what's the next request for the next Sirianni comes along? He's going to settle the Russian-Ukraine war to get in? Like, what's the, how high is the bar now? Good Lord. And 610-632-0975. Let's go to Ryan in Bryn Mawr. Ryan, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Ryan.
Hey, guys. How you making out today?
What's going on, Ryan? How are you?
Good. You know, I got to agree that the playoff position is a definite regression. And then on top of it, I got to agree the second half of last year was a disappointment for the Phillies. Rob Thompson needs to do more as a manager. If somebody's not hitting or performing, he needs to sit them down for a longer period. It was a total bluff when he sat Alec Bohm down in the NLDS series, and everyone knew it was like faking punishing your kid. You know, this isn't a real punishment. Just sit over there for a little while.
I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked Bill, since you want to bench somebody for so long. Who do you replace him with?
So, you know, Alec Bohm could have replaced him with Sosa.
You could, huh?
You know, Sosa, like when Trey Turner was out for an extended period of time, Sosa was hitting even better than Trey Turner.
So you would have benched Trey Turner for an extended period of time to play Sosa every day?
That's not what I said. What I said was
what did you say?
When Trey Turner was out.
No. Okay, when he was hurt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, he did play him. And then what happened? He kind of dries up, Sosa, because he's not an everyday player. And they know that.
Yeah, you're right. He's not an everyday player. But, you know, when Alec Bohm goes into that slump, don't just fake punish him. Sit him down, make him do the work that he needs to do, and then put Sosa in there. And you know what? We knew what was going to happen when Sosa didn't perform in game one.
He did rest Bohm a lot for Sosa last year during the regular season.
Yeah,
he did do that. I don't know what you're saying here. You want a radical change, and I'm asking you what radical change. He did bench guys. He did bench guys. But he was floundering because he didn't have good enough personnel to play those guys for an extended period of time.
So that's a different argument because the argument is what do you need to do? And, you know, in my opinion, you need to sit that person down until they get back on the bandwagon.
Well, the only way they can get back is to face Major League pitching again.
Yes and no. You know, you got.
Well, yes and no. How are you going to get back at it?
You got to give them a break sometimes because someone said it earlier.
Well, my point, Brian, he did give them breaks. But he can't play them for an extended period of time because then you're hurting your team. You got to get your regulars back in.
Yeah, well, are you hurting your team or are you continuing to do the same thing? Slamming your head into the wall and expecting a different result.
Yeah, it's they won. Managing the way he managed, they won how many games?
They were 500 after the All-Star.
Right, but hold on. Here, what's the definition of success? So is your definition of success for this team 95 wins?
No, you're telling me. Now, hold on a second. You're telling me you would have made changes during the season. I asked you what changes that he should have made.
My example that I cited, it was in the NLDS or against the Mets where he fake putting Alex Bohm.
I get that point. You've made it 3 times. You made the point that you had to change something during the regular season.
Right. So through the regular season, is your definition of success of the entire season 95 wins or is it a World Series championship?
Doing what he did got him a position to get the number 1 seed. Now, I don't know what more you wanted him to do. All right, Ryan. Well, I'm going to give you a chance, Ryan. No, you don't want your knowledge. Okay. All right. Well, you made your point.
Well, hold on.
I get it. You made
your point. Yeah. I understand what Ryan's trying to say, though.
Of course you do.
We'll talk more about it.
610-632-0975. We're back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Housefire to New Orleans. I'm Ray Dunn. This update's brought to you by the Bet Parks online casino and sportsbook app. Play your favorite casino games and bet sports on the Bet Parks app. You love to play. You play to win. You bet. Bet Parks. Must be 21 in PA or New Jersey. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Kellen Moore has officially brought his buddy on board in New Orleans. Eagles quarterbacks coach Doug Nussmeier is going to be Moore's offensive coordinator for the Saints, becoming the second Eagles staffer to join Moore in New Orleans after TJ Pagnetti reportedly agreed to join the Saints staff. This puts the Eagles in the market for a new offensive coordinator and quarterback coach this offseason. Also, director of sports science Ted Rath now reportedly going down to New Orleans as well. Still no word on the defensive coordinator down there, which Eagles defensive backs coach Christian Parker had interviewed for. Down in Clearwater, Phillies full team workouts continue. They're preparing for that first spring training game on Saturday afternoon. 76ers return from the All-Star break tomorrow to host the Boston Celtics at the Wells Fargo Center. You'll be able to listen to that game right here on the Fanatic. And tomorrow is also the championship of the NHL's Four Nations Face-Off with Team USA and Team Canada at 8 o'clock on ESPN. This update's also brought to you by Wendy's. Try a $3 Son of a Baconator today. Big news, bacon lovers. Wendy's Son of Baconator is only $3 for a limited time. That's a whole lot of bacon for just $3. For bacon that just won't quit, gotta be Wendy's. I'm Ray Dunn in the home, the 76ers and the Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
127. Mike Missanelli Show. This band is what is this band? What is it?
Future Islands.
Future Islands. Yeah, they're from East Carolina University.
Really?
Is that in your conference?
That is in the conference.
Yeah.
Down in Greenville last month.
Beautiful place, Greenville. They were East Carolina students.
I spent one summer in northeastern North Carolina. Greenville to them was the big city.
Yeah.
Was the big happening. I went up to Greenville. I was like, oh, yeah, you guys really don't know what the city is down here.
Beautiful campus, though.
Yeah, very nice campus.
All right,
nice arena.
Let's play a little bit of Eagles trivia here. No, it's not trivia, but the Inquirer did this. You can rate the stay or go people.
Yeah.
All right, so quarterbacks. Let's just go right to the backups. Kenny Pickett, stay or go.
You got him under contract, but if a team was willing to give you some draft capital, I'm okay going into the season with Tanner McKee as the backup. So I would be willing to trade Kenny Pickett.
Okay. In fact, the crowd selection, the consensus, 58% say Kenny Pickett should go. 90% say Tanner McKee should stay.
Yeah.
People are I swear to God. People are enamored with players that have a temporary success. In this city, it's unbelievable.
But isn't that normally the point of a backup? You just need temporary success.
Yeah, but come on. He's played one game, for Christ's sake. All right, let's go.
But he's always performed. I know it's against third stringers in the preseason, but every time we've seen McKee, he's performed.
Come on.
That's why people like him.
Come on. Running backs. Kenneth Gainwell. Stay?
Well, he's a free agent, so they're going to have to sign him to a new contract. I would. If you can get him cheap enough, I like the backfield of Saquon, Kenny G, and Will Shipley. So I would keep Kenny Gainwell, and I know Sirianni loves him.
Keep Kenny Gainwell and Ray Shipley. Would you keep
Will Shipley? Yeah,
Will Shipley. Would you keep Tyrion Davis-Price?
No, I mean maybe on the practice squad.
Carrie Blasingame.
That's the fullback, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Kenny Gainwell, only 59% say keep him. 91% say keep Will Shipley. 76 down on Tyrion and Carrie Blasingame 80% down. So that's what the consensus is for the.
What did Saquon get in the stay or go?
Saquon got 94%.
Come on, with the 6%.
Seriously, he got 94% keep.
If you were part of that 6%, give us a call 610-632.
The people who probably voted go probably thought they were voting go. Go,
yeah,
go.
Yeah, probably. That's actually pretty good. That's the wittiest thing you said all day today. Receivers, all right, Devontae, stay. A.J. Brown, stay. Britton Covey, interesting.
So I think Britton Covey's a restricted free agent, if I'm not mistaken. The reason I would keep him is as much as I was in favor of Cooper DeJean returning punts, now that he's going to be even a bigger role, especially if you let Slay walk, I think you need Covey as your punt returner.
Paris Campbell.
He can go.
Aeneas Smith.
I like Aeneas Smith. And he's not going anywhere. They drafted him last year, so I would assume he stays. He's still on an affordable rookie contract.
Jahan Dotson.
Dotson I would keep.
You would?
Because I think...
I got the replacement for him.
Who's that?
Chris Godwin, free agent.
Nah, they're not going to pay Godwin. I think Godwin's going to...
Slot guy. Woo. One Penn State for a Penn Stater.
You got Jahan Dotson entering the final year.
Get rid of Jahan. That's right. Get rid of Jahan. Bring it in, Chris. Come on home, Chris. The Middletown, Delaware. All right.
I'm curious what Godwin's going to get.
All right, here's the consensus. 94 for A.J. Devontae. 58% say keep Britton Covey. 88% down on Paris Campbell. Aeneas Smith, slim. 54% up. John Dotson, they keep it 81%. If he wouldn't have made those catches, they would have gone. And Johnny Wilson, I forgot him.
Yeah, he'll stay.
67 up.
By the way, I just looked up Godwin. A couple hours ago, there's a report that the Bucks and him are working on a new contract to keep him in Tampa Bay.
He's going to stay there.
Yeah.
Okay, tight ends. Got it, obviously. C.J. Ozuma.
Go on.
Go on?
Yeah.
Calcaterra.
I think he performed this year when he had to. So I would keep Calcaterra. But I would not be surprised if they drafted. I thought they were going to draft a tight end this past season. I wouldn't be surprised if they draft a tight end maybe in like the second or third round.
E.J. Jenkins.
I don't need to have him.
Dallas
Go on.
Goddard got 89% keep. Azuma 82% not keep. Calcaterra outpointed Dallas Goddard in this poll. You kidding me? Grant Calcaterra got 92% up. EJ Jenkins 65 down.
That makes sense.
All right, let's go to the offensive line. These are easy. Lane stays. Cam stays. Tyler Steen.
He's here because he's still on his rookie deal.
Nick Gates.
I think they just released Gates.
He gone.
Yeah.
He's gone. All right. Brett Toth.
Oh, won't see him no more.
See him no more either. Valkaihi.
Who?
Lakin Valkaihi.
Who?
Valkali. Valkali.
Huh?
Jordan Mailata, obviously. Landon Dickerson.
The big question's Mackay.
Darian Kennard.
Kennard will stay, I think. Maybe.
Kennard stays. LaRaven Clark.
You know Kennard, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's him. Yeah, he has the weird stat. Do you know he's won 3 straight Super Bowls?
Yeah.
Kennard was on the Chiefs for 2 years and the Eagles this year. He's won 3 straight Super Bowls.
Trevor Keegan.
Keegan, I was excited. They drafted him out of Michigan this year. And I thought he had a shot to compete for the guard, so I would keep him.
66 up. Jack Driscoll, 61 up. Fred Johnson, 78 up. LaRaven Clark, 78 down. Kennard, 59 up.
Becton is the big question.
Valkaihi, 55 up. Toth, 52 up. Nick Gates, 71 down. People know. People know who can play, who can't, man.
Educated. But would you keep Becton? Would you pay Becton and keep him here as your right guard?
I would.
And according to Schefter this morning, it's looking more and more likely. But see, there's a lot of people who are expecting Becton to take a team-friendly deal. Mm-hmm. Dude, I never, ever, ever want players to do that. Like, I know there's people, he should take a team-friendly deal. This is their career, and their careers are short. You get paid when you can, man.
All right, let's get to the defense. Bryce Huff.
He's gonna be here. I'm sure people said no, but he's gonna be here. You're not gonna get someone to take that contract off your hands, and the dead cap money is way too big. You're not moving on from Bryce Huff. If they were to cut him with a post-June 1st designation, his dead cap is $20 million. You're not doing that. He's here.
Josh Sweat.
I would say go, because I think Sweat's going to require too much money. And we talked about this the other day. Even though he showed up in the Super Bowl, I think he disappears for too many games in a row at times.
Thomas Booker.
You're going to need some depth at the D-tackle position, right? Booker, I think, can play some D-tackle. So he'll stay.
Milton Williams.
He's another one that's going to break the bank. I love Milton Williams, man.
Gone.
Love him, but I think he's gone.
Byron Young.
Gone.
Who?
Wait, you know the drop you just played, but who is he?
Who is he?
Who's he talking about? Do we know?
No.
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know who.
Who are you talking about?
Charles Harris.
Gone.
Who is he? Gabe Hall.
Who knows?
Rookie. Moro Ojomo, stay, obviously.
Yep, Ojomo will be here.
So Ojomo, 90% stay. Gabe Hall, 56% down. Charles Harris, 86% down. Byron Young, 52% down. Thomas Booker, 67 up. Yeah. Bryce Huff, 63% down.
Which I understand if you're just looking at his performance, but you got to look at the contract. And I know people are saying, well, trade him. Well, you got to get somebody that's going to want to take on that contract after the guy just got benched.
Sweat only got 64% approval rate, which means they probably know he's done. We'll get to the rest of the defense after this. Mike Missanelli Show continues. We're coming down the home stretch.
ESPN's Tim McManus.
7-5 the Fanatic. I like to scroll the X every now and then. You get some fun stuff on the X. Just saw this thing posted here by Vintage Rock and Roll is the account. He only can bring back 2 for a final show.
Oh.
All right. Michael Jackson, Johnny Cash, Kurt Cobain, John Lennon, Freddie Mercury, Bob Marley, Jimi Hendrix, Frank Sinatra, B.B. King, James Brown, Elvis Presley, Bon Scott.
So for me personally, I would bring Marley back. I would love to see Bob Marley live. The second one's tough. Because I think my grandmom would kill me if I didn't say Old Blue Eyes. But he lived a nice long life, Frank, didn't he? So maybe I would go with Lennon or Freddie Mercury.
You got completely opposite taste here. Michael Jackson, my God, it's like a no-brainer. And Jimi Hendrix, come on.
Jimi Hendrix.
Feel Jimmy.
Jimi Hendrix would be good. You got to hear Jimmy. You don't listen to him, right? You got to hear him.
Thank you. Appreciate the insight.
Man,
you don't know the movie.
Not go Michael Jackson.
I don't know, man. Michael Jackson.
Damn, dude, the king of pop.
King of pop. Legendary. But a little controversial at this point.
Well, yeah, but he's the king of pop.
Yeah.
He's not the lieutenant of pop. He's the king. You got to have the king back.
Now, Ray, would you bring back Tupac or Biggie? If you had your choice.
Ooh.
Tupac?
Dude, we were robbed of incredible music from those two. Think about how many more songs we would have got.
What was your answer, Ray?
I said Tupac.
Tupac.
I think I agree. I agree.
Because Tupac was edgier?
I don't know. Biggie was pretty damn good, too. It's a tough one.
Biggie's fantastic, but I think Tupac was edgier. I like the edgy.
Even as a crack fiend, mama, you always were the black queen, mama. I love that song. He's got a lot of good ones.
It does. I was going to go with you in that list also with Marley.
I thought you picked Tupac because of California Love.
Really? No. You go Marley over all those?
Yeah, I would love to see Marley live.
I'd like to see the experience. If it's one performance, I'd like the experience of being in a Marley crowd.
One performance.
Yeah.
One performance. All right, let's go back.
Hold me closer, Robbie Thompson. Mike's new song. That'll be Mike. Mike will sing that after every win. So hopefully we'll get 95 of them again. I think we'll get closer to 85. I think we'll get 85 of them, but we'll see.
Count the times they swing at bad pitches. Da-da-da-da.
Count the strikes out of the strike zone.
Defensive backfield.
Castellanos seems to work somewhere in there. You guys are much better at singing, so work Castellanos into that song, could you?
That's a tough one.
Hate him. That guy, he has rubbed me the wrong way from day one. I hate to
There we go. I got one.
Mess up the vibe because I know a lot of people like Casti.
He swings. He misses. It's out of the zone. Who we talking about? Castellano. Does that rhyme?
Zone and O? No.
Try it.
Defensive backfield. Slay.
Gone, in my opinion. And I think he knows it, too. I actually saw a clip earlier. I didn't get it to Ray because it was during the show.
CJ GJ.
He's here. CJ's here.
Coop. Sidney Brown. Ooh, interesting.
He's still under rookie deal, so he's here.
Perennial special teamer, I see him. I don't think he'll ever be a starter in the league.
It's interesting because that's not how people saw him last year, but I think 2 years ago, I think you're probably right.
Keely Ringo.
I think Keely's going to have a big year next year. I'm excited for him.
Eli Ricks.
Eli Ricks keeps hanging around, doesn't he?
James Bradbury.
He's gone. His career may be over.
Avante Maddox.
Also gone.
Oh, won't see him no more.
Andre Sam.
Sam's going to be here, and I know our own Andrew DeCecco. I think he likes Sam a lot, if I'm not mistaken.
Isaiah Rodgers.
It depends. I would love for them to keep Rodgers. I thought when he stepped in this season, they didn't miss a beat, but he's going to want to get paid. He's a free agent. I think a team's going to pay him. And, Mike, I just told you, salary cap went up, man. They just announced it. The NFL, the salary cap is going up somewhere between 277 and 284, I believe. So teams are going to have money to spend. I think when you have a young corner like Rodgers, he probably is going to get paid on the open market.
More helpful or harmful to the Eagles' offseason plans?
Anytime you give Howie Roseman more money, I think it's helpful. Right? I mean, I think other teams are going to probably overspend, but I'm never counting Howie out if he's got more cash.
Tristan McCollum.
He'll be here, I think. He's still young.
Okay.
Is he under contract? Let me look that.
25 years old. All right, here's how it played out with the consensus votes. Darius Slay, 52% say out of here. 83 Bradbury out of here. 72 Avonte Maddox out of here. Andre Sam, 75% out of here. Rick, 65% keep. Tristan McCollum, barely. 52% up.
So I was saying I saw a clip of Slay. He went on Amon-Ra St. Brown's pod again.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like he knows he's out. Because he said he still wants to play in 2025. He doesn't know what the Eagles' plans are. And then Amon-Ra kind of hints, well, what about coming to Detroit? And he's like, yeah, I love Detroit. It's my second home. I think Slay sees the writing on the wall. You can save, I think it's like $4.7 million if you move on from him. And there's a lot of young corners on this team. You put that money elsewhere.
Gotcha. All right, we have Darren in Coatesville, and I assume this will be our last qualifier for general knowledge that we're going to carry over tomorrow. We had a little problem with the internet today, so we weren't on YouTube. A lot of people didn't think we were on, but we are. Our show was on radio the whole day. But because of that, I think we had a lack of general knowledge competitors. So we're going to carry that over to tomorrow. Now, what is the score for right now?
2-0 Ray.
So the audience can't win. So whoever gets it right today can't carry over unless we make an executive decision.
Yeah, I think if Darren gets it wrong, we start over tomorrow.
Okay, if Darren gets it right, we carry him over.
If I was down 2-0, you know that would carry over to Thursday.
Right? We make the rules in here.
Let's go to Darren in Coatesville. Darren, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Darren?
Hey, what's up?
How you doing, buddy?
Mike, I'm laughing about that. I'm good. How you guys doing?
Good.
I'm laughing about the contest. I meant to call earlier. I didn't know it was 2-0. I could sweep that Jim Carrey. Like all your questions for that, I could sweep that category.
Yeah, that's kind of an easy category. That's why we're going to give you a tougher one.
But no, I wanted to see you guys' opinion. Do you guys think that the Eagles Super Bowl championship does that lead into the Phillies or the Sixers or the Flyers for them to make a run?
We actually talked about this yesterday as one of our themes. It absolutely puts pressure on them.
But he's asking if it adds momentum. We were talking about pressure. He thinks it's going to help him.
No, it doesn't help him. It does not help him.
It doesn't help? It doesn't help?
It doesn't. Well, if you look at it like the urgency to keep up, if that you look at that as a help, yeah, it helps them that way.
Like, do they see? Like, does it help them see something? Like, we can get back in the World Series and win it this time because they just did it. They just did exactly the same thing. But yeah, so I was wondering. And you guys are right. Bill Ray's right about Tupac too. You got to go Tupac on that one.
Yeah, I like it. It's a little edgier. Okay, would you like general knowledge question, Darren? All right, Darren, this will carry you over to tomorrow. So,
all right, I'm in.
Here it is. What genre of music was prominently featured in the movie Saturday Night Fever?
Ooh, I know this.
The genre of music was called... You are correct. It is disco. Ray, hit it. Hit it, Ray. There we go. Yes. There you go. The Tramps from Philadelphia, PA. Ray.
All right, so we got a 2-1 game then headed into tomorrow.
The intro is good for that.
Oh, well, Ray gets
we didn't hear that intro. This was an abbreviated version of this.
It was. But Ray's going to get one more shot here.
All right, Ray. Hold on a second. Let me get a good one for Ray. I'm trying to be fair, but also not too fair where you get it correctly. All right, Ray. We're going to go science here. What is the name for the process of heating milk to lengthen its shelf life?
Pasteurization?
That is correct.
Wow, Ray.
That is correct.
Wow, it's a shame that we're starting over tomorrow.
Ray
start over. You can't do that to me today. I'm scorching hot.
He's got the edge as we go into tomorrow. Bill, what do you think his chances are to lock this down?
Oh, man. Can you give me a question that would go towards the caller so we can maybe get a 3-2 game tomorrow?
Would you like to answer a question?
Sure.
History.
Give me a question.
What came first?
Yeah, we didn't get one of these today.
We didn't. I forgot. I screwed up. What came first, Bill? The telephone or the telescope?
The telescope came first.
That is correct.
Yeah.
This is a load of crap.
It is 3-2.
Let's give the callers
as
more.
we go into tomorrow. All right, let's go to the text board.
There's an asterisk all over this one. You don't show up all show long, you listeners, and now all of a sudden you're having Colarulo step up for you.
Well, are you afraid to protect a 1-point lead? Come on, Ray.
I'm just saying, every point counts.
You're Temple proud. You're Temple strong. Let's go.
Every point counts.
Temple strong.
You're Temple strong. Plenty of Phillies texts.
Plenty of Phillies texts.
I guess as we get out of here today. What do you got?
All right, we got a person upset with the first base move for Bryce Harper, if I could find this thing. Also, someone said Kevin Long should have been gone. Here we go. Bryce Harper, moving to first base has limited the Phillies lineup substantially. I get why they did it to extend his career, but our outfield provides zero pop outside of Castellanos, who's inconsistent. It's much easier to find pop at first base than in the outfield, and if Harper's arm is fully healed, they should consider moving him back.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. And he agrees. Once Bryce agrees to something, nah, man, you made me first baseman. I want to be a Gold Glover here. I'm not going back to the outfield. Bryce gets what he wants.
Yeah, does that make you angry at all?
They're not even going to suggest that.
Does that make you angry at all? You think he should be a little more open to it?
Yeah, I do. I think in a lot of ways, I thought that to take one for the team, he should have said, sign Rhys Hoskins for another year, and I'll play right field. And we'll move Castellanos to left. That would have solved a lot of their problems last year.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, now you've added a bat to the outfield.
I'm shocked that, I know he's got this reputation of being a team guy. I don't know. I think sometimes he's about Bryce. What else we got? Is that it?
We got more. We got more. Text board here.
Give me one more.
Get one agreeing with me again, Ray. Let's get
listen,
Mike out of here
they're
on
tough
a
to come by,
sour
all
note.
right? They're really difficult to find. The two of you both have had people upset all time long.
How did I have people upset?
Is Bill able to make a point without relating it back to Sirianni?
Why are people upset with me? I'm just going perfectly logical here. All right, go ahead. All
right, Bill is 100% right. Oh, I think we read this one already. Mike from Charleston has been so upset about you. Bill is so obviously right. The complacency was real. Thompson is responsible either way. Either he's doing nothing to change their approach or he just wasn't holding them accountable to make the adjustments he was
it's really funny. Baseball manager can go up to a guy and go, you know what? Damn it. You got to start hitting. You got to get in there with a little more fury and blah, 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 blah. And you know what that does to a baseball player? Okay. Come on. You can't treat a baseball player the same way.
It doesn't have to be Dan Campbell, but you want it to be like, oh, Bryce, are you okay? Oh, you are? Okay, thanks.
No, that's not what I want. I want a manager to
we're going to lose, but it's fine.
I want a manager to stay out of guys' heads. That's what I want. This was a fun day. We had a lot of fun. Thanks for listening, everybody, even though the YouTube was down today. We'll be back at it tomorrow. We're continuing with General Knowledge Wednesday. So for Ray and for Bill and for everybody who was listening, thank you so much. Have a safe night out there, and we will talk to you, as they say in Spanish, mañana.